Hey, second and third graders. So, we've been working a lot on nonfiction text. We've been using our skills of identifying text features to help us better locate information that we might need in order to understand the things that we're learning about when we're reading these nonfiction texts. This week, we are going to, instead of use nonfiction text features, we're going to be exploring important ideas to help us better understand what the main idea is all about. We're going to be exploring these important ideas on top of finding out what this main idea is to help us better understand what the author is trying to tell us. Now, the author isn't always going to tell us what the main idea is right away. They're going to leave us clues. You've already learned from Miss Andres, Miss Curry, and myself that when the author leaves us clues, we call that inferences. Now, these inferences actually help us think more about what the author is trying to tell us so that we can understand what that main idea is. Now, in your student response book, you are going to be on page 27, following along with this article here, the Buddy Bench, or the Friendship Fostering Buddy Bench. We're going to be using this article this week to help us explore main ideas. So, before we begin, I actually want you to think about what do you think the article, the Friendship Fostering Buddy Bench, might be about? Let's stop right here, pause, take a second and think it to ourselves. What might this be about before we start, before we begin reading? Now that you've thought about what this article might be about, I want you to hold on to your thoughts and see if what you thought this article might be about, if all that is going to come true as I read along. Remember, we're going to be focusing on exploring main ideas, and we're going to be using these text features that we learned to help us explore these main ideas. So, let's get started. December 11th, 2013. Second grader Christian Bucks noticed that some of his friends seemed lonely on the playground at recess. Then he remembered something he learned that helps children make new friends at school, and he set his mind to making it happen. But Bucks initiated a buddy bench, a place where students can go and sit if they feel lonely or have nothing to do, and another student will come up to them and ask if they want to play or just sit and talk. He says it acts as a way to grow our dream circle of friends. Now, we're going to stop right here to think about our reading. What does the title, the Friendship Fostering Buddy Bench means? I want you to share with your parents or anybody around you, or just think to yourself. Go ahead and pause the video. Alright, now that you had a chance to share, let's continue reading on. Bucks first heard about the Buddy Bench when his family was considered moving to Germany for a little while for his dad's work. He learned of a Buddy Bench at a German school, and he loved the idea right away. He thought this was a great way to help other kids who might feel lonely or left out from time to time, said his mom, Allison. Just before school let out for the summer at Roundtown Elementary School in York, Pennsylvania this year, Bucks told Principal Matthew Miller about the Buddy Bench and explained why he thought the school should have one. Miller and the school staff loved the idea and even let Bucks pick out the color and style of the bench. Now let's stop here. Where did Christian Bucks get the idea for the Buddy Bench? Again, if your parents are around or if you have siblings around, take the time to share with them. If not, go ahead and just share with yourself. Okay? Now that you had a chance to share, let's continue on. The buddy bench is now installed near the playground, and Bucks hopes that people will use it and that it will teach students to be kind to each other. We show we care about others when we ask others to play, Buck said. I also hope that new friendships will be made because of the buddy bench. Now, after he had the idea, what did Christian do to help his school get a buddy bench? Let's stop and think about that. Now that you had a chance to share, how does Christian Bucks think a buddy bench can help students? Go ahead and find somebody around you and share your ideas of what you think. Remember, we're exploring main ideas to help us better understand what it is that we are reading about, right? I want you to use your inference skills where you are identifying the clues that the author has left for you so that you can figure out what the main idea is. Remember, the author isn't always going to tell us, which is why they leave us these clues to help us figure out what the main idea is. If you're having trouble trying to figure out the main idea, I just want you to ask yourself, what is this article mostly about? So, once you figured out what this article is mostly about, I want you to go ahead and type up your responses, take a picture of your work, or record yourself sharing your responses on the Class Dojo page, on our class stories, or on your Class Dojo portfolio, whatever works best for you. Now, in today's lesson, you listened to an article and you thought about what it is that you learned and what was important in the article. I want to remind you that when authors write articles and stories, there are things that they really want us, the reader, to learn and remember. Those are the important ideas. So whenever you're reading, just always stop and ask yourself, what does this author want me to learn? What is the important idea that this author is trying to teach me? Once you figure that out, share with those around you, okay? Now, this read aloud is going to, this week's read aloud, we're going to have multiple articles for you to work with. So you're going to be reading more nonfiction articles. On page 28, I want you to, in your student response book, you're going to be reading, Hey Joe, how's it going? I'm going to have some questions up there for you. And remember, it's all about trying to figure out what the main idea is. We're exploring these important ideas that the author is trying to teach us. And I have one more article for you as well. Giant jellyfish invasion. Again, all of these could be found in your student response book from pages 27 through 29. Take a picture of your work, take a video of you sharing your responses, post it on Class Dojo. Okay? Remember, we're exploring important ideas. Thanks, class.